But there's also that concept of how strongly the mental game is and how you can increase your confidence. For me, I made sure to do everything leading up that was going to set me up for success. Claudia Ramirez, empowering you to become the optimal leader of your life. Let's turn on the Mindset Mic. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 64 of Mindset Mic, winning the mental game. How to increase your confidence to crush your goals. I want to give this a full-blown sports angle. Whether you are a high school athlete pursuing a college career, whether you're a walk-on in college, whether you're crushing it in college, or you're playing basketball and volleyball at the Y, or started running marathons like me, this is going to be for you. I believe that sports have a huge role in all that we are as humans, as individuals. I believe that sports play a huge component in your development and success in other areas. And I really hope that it's at this right time that you allow yourself to increase that confidence so that you can accomplish those things that you have set out for yourself. Let's start off with the concept of self-belief. Self-belief is going to be crucial for you moving forward. You can train in and out. You can put 16 weeks of training. You can put a whole year of training under your belt. If at the moment when it's time to execute and do something for yourself, you don't believe you can, you won't. And this is a lot like the concept of throwing a paper ball into a trash can or a tin can, or what do people call it in the UK? You know what I mean. It's the garbage. Oh gosh, now I'm thinking about what is it called in the UK. A lot of times, if you get this ball and you throw it and you don't think you're going to make it, you won't. But if you think you will make it, you will. I don't have a lot of basketball aptitudes. That is something that I could very much develop or there's room for improvement is what I should say. But the other day I was just in my living room and somebody and I were trying to throw something, bottles into the trash. And I, not having a basketball background and actually being like made fun of when I used to play basketball when I was young, didn't care about that. I was like, I'm going to make this. I'm going to like just do this 3 for 3. And I did it. And it's that minuscule thing in your life that just proves what self-belief can really do. We'll talk more about this concept later because I want to tie it into visualization. But it's about that moment of, I believe that I can. Let me give myself a chance. When I ran the New York City Marathon, I had a conversation with my coach the Wednesday prior to. I ran on Sunday, and on Wednesday we had this conversation. And we talked about the race strategy, and he invited me to a whole strategy and approach that was going to help me hit a 340. Originally, I wanted to hit a 315, 320 at the Philadelphia Marathon on November 24th. Being that I ran the New York City Marathon, it was cut down by 3 weeks, and my training was only 12 weeks instead of the typical 16-week training block that they call block. And I went on there and I walked out of this conversation with my coach. By the way, my coach is brilliant. He's super knowledgeable. He really helped me achieve this goal. But I knew that I didn't want to hit 340. I knew that I wanted to hit 329, 330. And I was like, let me see what this approach could be. Like, let me start off the way that he told me. And then I'll like modify my pace as I go. But I believed in my heart that I could accomplish this like far-fetched, like very stretched out goal. He didn't say the word far-fetched. Stretched out goal of a 330. And as you embark on the journey, you realize like, maybe I am the right person for this. And you can anticipate, right? Like I have to be smart and not blow up in the first 10 miles so that I can finish the race. But I did it in a way that I was able to negative split every single 5K the entire race, where most people do it backwards. They start off too fast and then they blow up and then it's chaos. For me, I'm not saying it'll be the best that I'll ever do or that I'm better than anybody, no. But I just some way, somehow ended up doing that without realizing it. But the whole thing is that in my heart, I believed that I could hit a 330. And I want to talk more about how that plays a role. My coach has said something to me that said, Claudia, you're not going to get across that line just based on talent. There are certain factors that you have to incorporate. And I fully understand and believe and agree with what he says. I wouldn't have been able to go out there and run a 252. Like, my body wasn't prepared for that. But I was prepared for a 330, because 330 and 340 are very close. And I believe it's that mental gap that really plays a role. And I wanted to give myself a chance. So for you, I want to ask you, how does this play a role in whatever sport it is that you are executing? And do you believe that you can hit this goal that is a stretched out goal? There's a matter of being irresponsible and throwing the race or the game away or the match away in the first half. But there's also that concept of how strongly the mental game is and how you can increase your confidence. For me, I made sure to do everything leading up that was going to set me up for success. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and all of a sudden I look orange, I apologize. For those who are listening on podcast, I have the sun behind me, which is a big no-no when you're filming, but it just looks so pretty. So I'd rather compromise my face so you can get the pretty view. Okay. Confidence can be approached in two different ways. The first one is that you just make a decision. That's it. You decide that today is the day where you are the right person to accomplish X, right? You all of a sudden you step on the line and you say, why not me? Absolutely. Let me go get it. And you give yourself that little oomph. And you're like, I don't care who's next to me. I don't care that it's my first time, my first marathon, my first game, my first time playing in college. I don't care that I haven't had the success historically. This starts right now. My journey starts today. That's one approach. The second approach, which they go hand in hand, I think that they're both valid and they do support one another, is to build up to this confidence. Basically, meaning that you have now the receipts, you have the evidence to pull out for yourself and say, this is why I need to be a confident person out there, because this is why I can win. I've put in the work. This is what I've done. This is what I want to accomplish. This is my historical report in other areas of my life or in other sports, or in my case, it was, this is the kind of runner that I've been. This is the kind of person who I am. This is how I've been training for this for 12 weeks. And so then it gives you that little, yes, I can do this whenever you step on that line or whenever you approach this game or this match. And then building confidence leads us into something else. Claudia, I have a difficult time staying motivated during my training cycle. I mean, forget the actual execution of the race or the event or the game, but I'm having a difficult time actually feeling motivated during the months and months and weeks of training. Great. This is when you are in full control. You're always in full control, but this is when you really start getting excited about the little things that make a difference. Visualization. This is going to be key. I used to go, and a couple of weeks prior to the marathon, well, maybe about a month before, or actually, no, weeks and weeks before, but I'd start visualizing myself going through the finish line. And I could hear the roar of the crowd, and I could see people cheering on, and I could see myself being tired, but still having something in me that would push through. I could see myself getting the medal. I could see myself hitting my goal time and meeting my family and being so excited because I did it. That was my visualization. If I had been freaking out because I've never done a marathon before, because I undertrained and everybody does 16 weeks and I only do 12, and oh my gosh, like it's New York, it's a major and it's the hardest one, or so they say. Oh my gosh, like I'm so in my head, I've been tapering, I feel like I can't even run a 5K right now. Like that would be bad. And that would be setting you up for failure or for lack of success, should we say. But for you, what does it look like to motivate yourself? What can you visualize yourself doing? How is that playing a role in the overall picture? Journaling. Are you journaling? Are you giving yourself time to communicate with yourself and build that self-awareness to be like, oh yeah, I'm actually not that crazy. I'm actually just having a difficult time right now because I am stretching myself out of my comfort zone. Okay, so all of a sudden, whenever you're able to reframe that information to yourself, it's not so bad whenever you feel down. I had a conversation with my coach the week or two prior to the marathon, 2 weeks prior to the marathon, and I told him, I don't even want to create content for social media right now. I'm struggling coming up with a podcast. Like, I just feel unmotivated. I'm always like down, and I just feel this. And he's like, Claudia, I wish you had told me before, because that is actually very, very common for marathon training. There is a part of the training where you just don't feel very well and you're just not very peppy and you've been going through it because you've been putting in the work and your energy is going elsewhere. And I agree, and it makes sense. So when you reframe that and say, oh, wait, all of a sudden, I know that I'm feeling kind of down and blah, because I'm actually putting in the work and I'm doing something that I've never done before. Doesn't that feel a little better? And doesn't that give you a little more confidence to go out there and crush the goal? Because you're actually putting in the work that is so high that is making you feel even depleted and tired. And it gave me a mindset shift during the process that I found was very valuable. So I want to invite you to do the same. Lastly, I want to talk about silencing. Just completely shh. The inner critic. I can't even tell you how many times I left amazing performances on the table when I was in college because I was so afraid of the women who were around me. I knew that I was a walk-on. I knew that I didn't have a scholarship. I knew that other people did. And it made me feel inferior. It got to my head. And I remember one day I got on the line for the 10K that I hadn't competed in for like 3 years. And the one time that I did was horrible. I got on the line and I said, this is my chance to get a scholarship and get a ring and win a championship with my team. It's now or never. It's the whole package, now or never. And I looked at the girls around me and I was like, I only have to beat, I don't remember how many girls there were. I think 9 girls that I had to beat. I only have to beat 9 girls and I'll be good. And just having that, I said, I can beat 9 girls. And we'd be in the race and I'd be thinking, somebody's going to drop out and it's not going to be me. I'm going to be part of the top group. That was it. Just hang on to it. Just cling on to it. And don't let your mind psych you out. How many times do you believe that, oof, I'm not going to make it. Oof, I'm too far away. Oof, if I made the shot. And you just start getting in your head. What if you believe? What if you say nicer things to yourself like you would to another person? I was the woman who was always like, good job. You're doing great. Let's keep going. I would pep other girls while I was running up. Like, I would always cheer for my teammates. I was always cheering for girls who I was even competing with, especially when they were lapping me back in the day at the beginning of rough times. I'd be like, good job. You lapped me 3 times. Keep going. I believe in you. Like, I'm not even kidding. And then one day I thought, how about if I start talking to myself the way that I would talk to them? And everything changed. And during the marathon, I remember thinking, I was fine. People were like, you're going to hit a wall at mile 18, 19, 20. I didn't hit a wall until mile 21. No, really a wall until mile 22, 23. Mile 21 was the first time that I thought, oh God, I got 5 miles to go. I can do that. And I started doing the math. Like, can I run 8 miles in 1 hour? Yeah, for sure. Can I run this? Yeah, for sure. Like every mile, I would have like a new time that I needed to run that mileage in to be able to hit my goal of 3:30. And at one point, I could feel my mind wandering, just looking at the sky, looking at the clouds or whatever was out there, and not even seeing that the crowds were around me. I was just like, la, 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 la. And I was like, whoa, I know that, Claudia. I was like, let's come back. And I remember thinking, I would be so mad at myself if I crossed that line and I did not hit my goal and I am not tired. And it was just because of my mind that got in the way. I cannot do that. I need to come across at what I want or blow up trying, but not because my mind got in the way. And so I hit 3:30. But towards the end, when I was like, you know my chant when I believe in myself, I'm like, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, I believe in myself. Before it used to be podium, and now it's like finish line, finish line, finish line, finish line, finish line. I believe in myself, I believe in myself, I believe in myself. Like again, over and over. Well, this time I did that. I needed reinforcement. And I start literally, like in the last 800 to 1200 meters of the race, I'm just yelling to the four winds, I believe in myself. Why not? I've got this. It was like last resort. You're burning more energy, but you're literally putting out into the universe. I was like, I look insane and I don't care. I'm going to do this. Throw that critic out the window, throw them back. You don't need them. And plug in the voice and tune into the channel that's going to help you succeed. Whether that critic comes from a person you experiences, out. You do not need it. Bring in what makes you feel good, what hypes you up, what puts that pep in your step, that oomph. Believe me, it's so effective. And the best thing about it is that it's between your ears. You control that. You decide when that's going to be. You can do it in the middle of a game, in the middle of a match, in the middle of the race. You can do it. And you can crush your goals. And even if you don't crush your goal because maybe it was too late or whatever, now you know how to do it. So, going back, develop your self-belief. Why not me? I can do this. Absolutely, I can. I visualized it. I know my goal. I know the plan. You're talking to the right people. And eliminate that inner critic. You are sometimes your worst critic. You're there for everybody, and sometimes you're not there for yourself. And I'm not just speaking to myself when I say those words. What would happen in your life, not only in your sport, but in your life, when you thrive and excel in that sport that you are focusing on right now, because you decided to believe in yourself, to eliminate the critic, and to develop that unbreakable confidence that today is the day and you've walked the journey to help you get to where you know you want to go. Wow, that would be phenomenal. You'd walk into every room feeling like $1,000,000. You'd walk into every room empowering other people. You'd go anywhere radiating and inspiring because you are making it happen. And I can tell you this from experience. If you've done it once, you can do it again. And that is why that sports mindset perspective and angle on winning the mental game is so important. So I want to invite you to make a vision board. And I have a vision board course that's called See It Created, a vision board to get excited about your future. I give you crystal clear visualization techniques, mindset coaching. We're going to dissect your goals from different goal types in different areas in your life, your sports being included. And that is going to help you penetrate your subconscious mind and help you develop that self-belief and the confidence and the undeniable right there, nobody can convince me otherwise, that is for you and that you seek for yourself. It's a phenomenal course. I have all of my mindset coaching clients do it. It's so effective. So it's so fun. And it's actually fun. And I do it differently than what a traditional vision board course would be. So I hope that you enjoy it. It's on my website. It is $147. And I know it's going to be one of the best investments that you do for yourself. Along with that, it comes with monthly emails with reminders on how to modify it, when to modify it, how to update it, and just continued support for an entire year. So I hope that you love that, and let me know if you need any support in acquiring it or going through it, but it's pretty straightforward and it's as professional and fun and about you as can be. So as always, don't forget to keep being the optimal leader of your life. I am sending you the biggest hug and all the pep talks. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.